Turn the volume up. No, I'm not talking about on your computer. I'm talking about volume with trading. How does that work? How does volume and trading go hand in hand? We're going to talk about the overall idea of why volume is important, how you can read the volume, and what you should be looking for when it comes down to trading and how much volume you should have and vice versa. Let's talk about it here in this video. All right, so when it comes to volume, what's the deal with volume? I'm not talking about turning up your computer or anything like that. I'm talking about the volume on the chart and how we are reading the volume as day traders. First off, let me tell you one thing. If a stock is low volume, it's not moving, it's not really doing anything, I'm staying away from it. I'm looking for stocks that have volume in action. The reason for that is volume provides liquidity. Now, liquidity means that people are buying and selling and that there's buyers, there's sellers. If I'm a buyer, let's say I buy this stock here, I buy Tesla at $540, right? And there's no volume. And all of a sudden it starts to sell off. Nobody's willing to buy it. Nobody wants to buy it. There's just no action. This stock could drop from 540 down there to 530 in a matter of seconds because there's no buyers. But a stock like Tesla has plenty of liquidity and plenty of volume. Look at these candles here. These are 5-minute candles. You got 145,000 shares traded per candle. And that's telling me that there's liquidity and there's buyers, there's support, and there's overall action. One of the things that a lot of people get messed up with is they buy stocks that don't have any volume. Let me see if I can find one here. Okay, this is a perfect example. CTG. CTG has no volume. It has 342,000 shares traded. This is the 5-minute chart. 342,000 shares traded here from 570 up there to 650. And there's only 342,000 shares traded. The stock's up 15%. But look at the volume here, right? Look at the volume. These candles, 26,000 shares traded. This is 5 minutes. Look at the 1-minute chart. This is something you do not want to trade. Just go ahead and take a picture of this and put it on the wall and say, do not trade this. You need volume. You need action to be able to get in and out. Because what happens here? Let's say I buy 1,000 shares here for some reason. I buy it at $6.48. I buy 1,000 shares. Well, guess what? If I want to sell my 1,000 shares, I have to wait because there's other buyers and other sellers, and it's just not happening. There's no volume. There's no action. Look at these candles. That's only 100 shares traded right there. So if I bought there, I might not get filled till down here. Even if I put a limit order out there to get filled and there's only one buyer sitting there, he might only take 100 shares of mine. So if I have 1,000 shares, I'm left with 900 shares waiting to sell. And if I can't get filled, the price keeps going lower, obviously I'm going to get filled at a really bad price. So again, please do me one big favor. Stay away from stocks with no volume. A stock like this should have millions of shares traded. If you're looking for a stock to trade, volume. Volume is important, very important for trading. Same idea when you're shorting. If you're shorting here and you get squeezed out, there's no liquidity, there's no volume, you're going to have problems. You're going to have big problems. Again, we've got candles up here on the top, and we've got these volume bars on the bottom. That's the green candles and green volume are also going to correlate, obviously, meaning that when the candle is green and we're going higher, the volume is going to be green. Now, if the candle is red, the volume is going to be red. If the candle is blue, we're not moving, we're not getting any price action, the volume is going to be blue. So that's going to tell us that the price is opening and closing at the same price. Same like we talked before about the actual candles themselves, the volume is the same idea here. So there's a lot of blue, there's a lot of just not a lot of action, not a lot of range. This stock is something that I would stay far away from. Stay very far away from stocks with no volume, no action. Let's look at a stock that has a lot of volume and a lot of action here and just give you a different idea of what the stock should be looking at. So INPX, this has 18 million shares traded so far today. It's only got a 1.2 million share float. So that's telling us right there that there's a lot of action. There's a lot of volume. There's a lot of stuff going on with this stock. This is a 1-minute chart. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. Look at how much volume is here on the 5-minute chart. Some of these candles have almost 1 million shares traded. This candle here, 5-minute candle, has 1.1 million shares traded. This is the type of action that you want to be trading, my friends. Stay away from what I just showed you. Look for action. Look for volume. INPX. You can see as we're breaking out. Another thing you want to be you want to keep a very close eye on is volume in general. If this stock price is moving higher, we want to see the volume also moving higher, because when more volume is coming in, it's pushing the price higher. Supply, demand. If there's less supply and there's more demand, the price of the stock is going to head higher. Now, what happens when the volume dies up and nobody wants to buy the stock anymore? A lot of times the price will go lower or consolidate. It just won't move, and then all of a sudden it'll break to the downside. So you gotta keep an eye on volume and overall price action when you are trading. Volume is very important. Like I said, you want to have a lot of volume so that way you can get into the stock, you can buy the stock, you can sell the stock, and not have to worry about getting stuck with the stock. The last thing you want to do is buy one of these companies and get stuck with the stock. You don't want to hold these companies for a long time, especially if you're trading the low float stuff. So please keep an eye on the volume. You want millions and millions of shares traded to really have price action, to have a good, solid movement in the stock. And that's what happens here. IMPX, we go from $3.80 all the way up there to $5.90. Lots of volume through this entire move. That entire move had lots of volume there, lots and lots of volume, and that's what we want to see. The sell-off here, look at the sell-off though. You get from $5.78 down there to $5, only 628,000 shares traded. Look at this candle. You get 1.1 million. So this stock booms, goes to the moon. People are selling, it's getting tighter, and then everybody just is like, hey, I don't want to buy anymore, and boom, it gets dropped just like that. The volume dies, and the candle drops back down as the price obviously heads lower. So volume. Keep an eye on the volume. When a stock is pushing higher, like right now, look at this. I want you guys to see this. Look at this. We're pushing higher, right? These last three candles making a move higher. Guess what? Volume. Bam, bam. Getting more and more volume as the stock is moving higher. That's a good sign. That's what we want to see. We want to see that volume increasing through the move. It's telling us that this volume, that this price action, that everything is going on is real, that there's buyers there. It's moving higher, baby, and it's pushing right now up there to 575. You can see a little bit of resistance right there, 575. Is it going to push through? The high on this candle is 575. The volume, a little low right now. We got to need some more volume. I think if we can break above 575, we should get a nice spike in volume here. Let's see if we get it. We've got previous resistance there at the 578 area. It's up there to 580 now. It's starting to push. Look at the volume. Volume looking a little low right now. We want to see more volume coming in. This is the 5-minute chart. We'll go over here to the 1-minute chart, which will be a little bit more telling as we see the volume coming in there on that candle. Look at that. Volume just increasing right through there, steadily increasing as we pushed above that resistance. And that's telling me, again, that the stock is strong and it's pushing higher. They're up there 580 now. So volume still increasing. Look at that. As we push through that resistance, the volume is still increasing through there. And we should get a push through 580 here now. Okay, perfect. We got to push through 580. And you can see the volume coming up here. Volume is still coming up. We should get a new kind of high in volume as this continues to push. And that's, again, kind of reassuring, telling us that this stock is strong and it wants to head higher. So as we've been watching, we've seen the stock move from 570 up there to 580 now, up there to 585. It's starting to push. The volume is increasing. We're getting more and more volume. It's going. Look at it. So there, you just saw exactly what you should be looking for in a trade. So if I'm buying there at 570, it's pushing higher. The volume's coming in. We're getting a new push. The high of days so far is there at 589. It's up there to 590 now, 595, all the way to $6. Look at that volume. The volume's coming in, baby. And that's what we want to see. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Very simple. That's a great example. This is live right now, too. This is great that you guys are seeing it as it happens, as you can see this move happening here and starting to push. So up there to 595 now. Volume still increasing through this entire move. And that's good. That's good stuff. So there it is. Volume. It's important. That's what you want to see. Because you can see as this is pushing higher, it's pulling back a little bit. But the buyers are staying in control. They're pushing it higher. They're trying to push. They're coming in strong, and the volume is showing you that. The volume is showing you that the push is here. The push is real, and it's pushing higher up there to $6 now. So there you go.